car day. My name is Arun and I am the driver. You're watching Driven Diary, episode 73. What is Driven Diary? It's the documentation of my life as I build a $1 billion automotive service business called Driven Auto Co. Driven Auto Co. is made up of two companies. I founded Driven Performance Advisors back in 2018. This company focuses on finance, operations, and strategy consulting for the automotive aftermarket. And Driven Auto Care was founded in 2023 when I acquired this shop that I'm sitting in right now here in Fremont. Driven Auto Care now has 2 and soon to be 3 locations in the San Francisco Bay Area and delivers the absolute best customer experience that exists in automotive service today. And we will grow this business to cover the entire United States and become a $1 billion brand. We're doing that through funding the growth, very much bootstrapped. I'm doing it basically through the consulting work, so I split my time between the two to grow this business. Now, I made Driven Diary to truly document early stage entrepreneurship and all of the day-to-day mindset and operational challenges that exist in running a business. There's not a frame of reference for people in my position doing this, and so I wanted to document the whole path. However, documentation is sometimes a bit tough. So in this week's video, I didn't start recording until Thursday. And the reason for that is I was not in a mood to record. Now that's not a very good excuse, I have to admit, so I'm going to make it up to you. And how am I going to make it up to you? I'm going to talk about this thing. What am I going to talk about? Well, about this, but just 4 months ago, I bought another 7-seater black SUV in preparation for my son to be born. My son is now 6 weeks old. And I have this. So, the 2012 Land Rover LR4 V8 HSE Lux. It's a lot of words. Why did I buy this? I bought this because my wife decided that she wanted to use the Explorer. Now, I have a 2017 Explorer Sport, and it comes with the 3.5 liter EcoBoost. I bought it in September. It had 150,000 miles on it, and I paid $12,990 for it. I drove it about 300 miles, and I then learned that the water pump was leaking. So we took it to my shop in Campbell, Driven Auto Care, and we replaced the water pump. Now, unfortunately, it is a timing chain-driven water pump. So that was a $7,000 job because what you have to do is basically almost pull the engine out of the car to disassemble the entire timing assembly, replace the timing chain, the guides, etc., and the water pump. Huge job. So $7,000 retail obviously didn't cost me as the shop owner that much. Nevertheless, that was a major consequence, and it took down the Explorer for 2 months. So I put it in the shop in middle of November, I believe, and my son was born early December, and we just got the Explorer back middle of January. So 2 months it was in the shop. It just kept getting deprioritized, as it does when you're the shop owner. Your cars are the last ones to get worked on, which is fine. But we got it back, and my wife, before we got it back, had basically staked her claim on it. She said that she wanted to drive the Explorer around. She felt safer in the Explorer with our son, and I thought it was a priority to get a larger vehicle than her Tesla Model 3 for her to be able to take, for both of us to be able to take the dog and the kid at the same time. And we didn't have a car that had a separate trunk from a back seat. And so my Passat, my truck, her Tesla, the vehicles that are set up right now for us to carry the dog around weren't gonna work. So we went out and got that Explorer. And it was good till the one issue happened. But because my wife staked her claim on it, I justified that I needed my own dog plus baby vehicle just in case my wife dropped both the dog and the baby off at work or wherever I am, or wherever else, I guess, and then I needed to pick them up and she was off doing something else in the Explorer. How would we cope? The only possible solution was to buy another car. It's the only thing we could have done. It just is. So I now own 8 cars. And I'm working on it. I'm working on paring that down maybe. But here we have 2012 Land Rover LR4. And why did I buy this? First of all, it was $14,700. It has 111,000 miles on it. And I got it from a dealership up in the Seattle area and it had shipped down here. So you would have already seen it get delivered. And I want to just do some comparing here. And we're going to see what $15,000 buys you in a used parental, in my case, a dad-mobile. You know, I really thought the Explorer was going to be a dad-mobile, but I get this. So let's compare. All right, got my notes here. Number 1, safety. The Explorer, being a well-produced American vehicle, has a NHTSA crash safety rating of 5 stars. This thing, not enough production numbers to say how safe it is, so it has no crash safety rating. My first impressions are that it would probably roll over a bit easier than the Explorer. It certainly sits higher. And I don't know if body-wise it's safer. It's definitely heavier. I don't know how much heavier, but it's heavier for sure. So we'll say the Explorer wins that one just because it actually has a crash test safety rating. Next, Dad's priority, power, horsepower. Explorer, 365 horsepower. LR4, 375. Those extra 10 horses really make a difference. But I will say one thing. The Explorer is a 6-speed automatic, and it has paddle shifters, which are super irrelevant for an SUV. It has a very smooth power delivery. Now the LR4, also 6-speed automatic, but for some reason, it really, really, really wants to be in the highest gear possible all the time, no matter what. And so if you want to use the power, it is constantly downshifting. It's quite annoying, kind of jerky, but once you get in there, the power is most certainly there, and it's a very torquey, smooth V8 power. So just on numbers, the LR4 wins. It's faster. It's 100% faster. It feels a little bit more smooth and solid at high speeds also. All right, space. This was actually surprising. I'm 6'8". You would think that either of these SUVs is kind of a non-issue for me. You know, 6'8", I'm not 7 feet 4 or whatever. I'm above average height, but I'm not like an absolute monster. However, the Explorer, my knee hits the dash. I actually cannot sit comfortably in the driver's seat of the Explorer. I, in order to reach the pedals, have to wedge my knee into this weird crevice between the center console and the dash where I just poke my knee right in there. My shin is just getting banged up the whole time I'm driving it. It's not ideal. Now this, on the other hand, very, very good. Very excellent headroom, legroom, no space issues whatsoever. I'm actually a huge fan of the LR4's space considerations here. Okay, next, Dad's priority. Attractiveness. Which one of these is a better looking vehicle? Well, the Explorer is the police spec. Black on black, blacked out everything. And it is sleek. That's the word I like to use for the Explorer. It's sleek, the interior's nice, the red stitching for the sport model. But I gotta say, the LR4 takes this one because it is the luxury look. It is a brute. That's what I want to call it. It is a brute of a vehicle where you know that this is an important trip. Whoever is in this thing has the capability to go anywhere. They will run you over if they so choose, and it's an important trip. So You get out, you look important, you feel important when you're in the Land Rover. That's a meaningful attractiveness quality, I think, of that vehicle. Amenities. So the Explorer is 5 years newer. It does have integrated Apple CarPlay, which is very nice. It means you can text whenever you want with voice. You get voice texts read to you, very nice. That's about what it has going for it. It has cooled seats, which the Land Rover doesn't have. Otherwise, though, nothing much separating it between the Land Rover and the Explorer. The Land Rover has 2012 Land Rover infotainment, but the Bluetooth connects right away. Super fast, super good sound system. It's also extremely comfortable. Again, just thinking about the very high quality leather seats, heated rear seats. Very, very nice overall experience in the Land Rover. Now, last, cost of ownership. This is probably a big one because the Explorer, prior to my ownership, went 150,000 miles, basically with oil changes. The previous owner just didn't do very much. They did oil changes every 10,000 miles. They did brakes when they were due. They did tires when they were due, and I believe that's about it. It has 150,000 miles. I got hit with the major bill of the water pump leaking. I did spark plugs, air filters, bunch of stuff at the same time that it needed, but I can expect that it will be overall a very low cost of ownership vehicle. It takes regular gas, insurance is cheap. The LR4, by comparison, well, 111,000 miles in, and the Carfax is full of repairs. This thing has had a ton of coolant leaks, and I'm hoping that they're all fixed now. But worst case, I own a shop. I'm not that afraid of something being unreliable. The last thing about these Land Rovers, both the V8 and the V6 that replaced it, is the timing chains are known to go bad. But I had to replace the timing chains on my Explorer as well, so like I said, not too afraid of it. But for now, this cost a little bit more, the Land Rover, and the insurance was higher. It takes premium gas, worse gas mileage. Overall, I gotta say the Land Rover is probably going to be more expensive. But let's go through the results here. Safety, the Explorer wins. Power, the Land Rover wins. Space, the Land Rover wins. Attractiveness, the Land Rover wins. Amenities, the Land Rover wins. Cost, the Explorer wins. So, based on this extremely unbiased and justifiably biased, it's not biased, guys, it's not biased. I just bought this. I definitely don't have favoritism. Don't accuse me of favoritism. The LR4 wins 4-2. That's the conclusion. What do you guys think? Do you think that a Land Rover LR4 is a better dadmobile than a Ford Explorer? Let me know in the comments. On to Driven Diary. Thank you so much for watching. Thursday evening, and welcome to Driven Diary episode 73. Sorry, I haven't filmed all week. No real excuse, just haven't been feeling particularly motivated to film. Let me tell you about my week. I have been very busy with consulting work. Most of my working hours are spent either touring automotive parts distribution warehouses for businesses for sale, or figuring out the accounting of one of my new clients. And it's been good work because I know I'm getting paid a lot to do it. But it is I don't know, it feels like I'm diverting my attention again from the shops, which need my attention, and the people there are not doing everything I would like to see them doing. Things seem to take an extra day right now, so that's a bit frustrating. Don't exactly know what's going on with that.
But yeah, that's what's going on. I got the delivery of the Land Rover last night. That's a clip you'll be seeing right now. And my Murcielago is on a truck from New Jersey as of today, Thursday. So I should be getting it about a week from now. I have been keeping busy with my son. I've been relatively sleep deprived and just trying to kind of hold it all together. Today I got a 2-hour nap and just was passed out for 2 hours. My Explorer is finally out of the shop. It's fixed. It's back in Evelyn's hands. So we have our 2 SUVs up and rolling. That's about it for life right now, I guess. I went and talked to a car storage business yesterday because I would like to get my cars. I want to get the Passat and the E46 into storage, and I want to get the Aston Martin sold. So I'm going to work with a guy to do that. However, he said he was going to get me a contract today, and he did not. So I need to figure out what happened there. That's it. Heavy power. Yeah, I don't know. I'm disappointed with people right now, I think. I was riding the high of getting paid more money than I've ever seen in my whole life, and it's been 2 weeks, and now that's gone. And I already think, like, I'm pretty balanced when it comes to money. It's not about dollars. It's about being able to buy whatever I want and have the freedom and the power to do that. And I'm not there. And I guess you technically never get there. There's always something more expensive that you can find. But I see it as a challenge that I need to keep climbing, and that I'm kind of hoping, that deal that we closed, this big company with a very fluky way in which we got the deal, I want to make sure that those kind of opportunities come up if I'm going to keep doing this M&A work. And if not, then my monthly cash flow goes up, and building a company around that monthly cash flow. Right now, it's just me, and I can make 20-25 grand a month consulting, and that's great. But it's not $1 million a year for sure. So I'm already falling short on what I did this year. But also it's a lot of work, and it's not the shops. And I do need income to keep the shop sustained. Obviously, my lifestyle is not getting any smaller now that I own a Lamborghini. But I'm kind of torn in that world of, what is the work I really should be doing? I probably should be focusing more on my main thing, my shops, especially since we're buying a third. But it feels like this distant thing that I'm not spending very much time on. So I don't know. I guess that's my ramble right now. Glad to have my cars a bit more situated. I've got the Land Rover. I do really like that thing. But, I think I want to make the rest of this video actually a bit more of a review on my Aston Martin. So we'll see how this all works out for the week with the video. That's all for Thursday evening. Friday morning, walking down the street in San Ramon, California, and I am here because I just dropped off down back there one of our loaner cars from Driven Auto Care to the shop that I'm buying in San Ramon. So let's see how the customer service experience goes. I don't know what to expect, but I'm going to see how it goes and assess what sort of changes we need to make to the business. That's all for now. That's it for Driven Diary episode 73. Obviously, that got pretty dark, but honestly, that's about all I had to talk about this week, was the fact that things weren't going my way.
And I kind of was on the top of an emotional roller coaster there for a while, and now I fell down a bit. I'm trying to do better with creating content that you guys actually watch, that you guys actually can appreciate what's going on, that's documenting what's going on. But I also just want to get into some more detailed topics, like which is the best dadmobile. So please leave me some feedback. What did you guys think? Please leave a comment below. If you enjoyed it, leave a like. We'll show up higher in the YouTube algorithm. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss next week's Driven Diary. And until next week, I hope you go out and you continue to pursue your own automotive dreams and stay driven.